Hey everybody, welcome to Chapter 6, Looking Up. Graham was happy to see Blord absent. Maybe he had embarrassed the bully too much to show his face in class. Reginald and Skinner were there, lurking over by the launch platform. Without their leader, the bullies hadn't badgered him at all, not even when Graham had passed out papers earlier that morning. Usually Reginald tried to trip him as he walked past, but today the gargoyle didn't have it in him. His morning had gone well. Recess was usually a time for him and Ott to get together, but not today. Many of the papers Ott had lost at the plateau were notes. The responsible troll had asked to stay in for recess and recopy the notes, claiming his mother had thrown them away rather than cite the truth. Most of his classmates were taking turns flinging themselves off the launch platform, last-minute practice for Friday's first flight. Graham steered well clear. As he passed by the wooden playset the council had just built for the school, a gargoyle with light blue skin called out to him from atop the higher set of bars. Her name was Milan, and she was a level 4 student. In Graham's mind, she was the prettiest girl in school, outside of his teacher, Mrs. Klupnoff. That explained why he had never spoken to her before. He was surprised she was even addressing him. Blue-skinned gargoyles were a minority and stuck together. Most in his village had bright orange skin like Graham. He thought of Malcolm Parsons and how his hardened skin was a dull gray. All of us end up the same in the end. Hey, Groodle, come over here. She grinned as she hung upside down from a thick crossbeam. Younger gargoyles climbed around her, busy with a game of tag. She knows my name. Of course, she tossed out my last name. Not an altogether warm and inviting conversation starter. Graham approached the playset. Yes? I'm Milan. Someone told me you have a really good seat at the banquet Wednesday night. She somersaulted free from her perch and glided through the air, using her ample wings to good effect. She wouldn't have any trouble with her first flight in a year. I do. His father had managed to get him a spot at the main table, one of the perks of being the son of a council member. Not that Graham went around advertising that. It was just the opposite. His father's prominent role in the gargoyle government had always been thrown back at him, an open invitation for numerous insults centered around him being privileged and high-minded. Of course, most of those rumors could be traced back to Blord, his nemesis. You're sitting next to the guest of honor, is that right? Her eyes softened and her small fingers grazed his upper arm. He trembled slightly but answered, Yes, I get to spend time with the realm's #1 hero. That's so cool, she said. She looked down at the ground and rolled her head around playfully. You think you could get me a seat next to you? Graham did a double take. His day was looking thoroughly on the upswing. No Blord, and now the cutest girl around was asking him for a favor? Well, I don't know what I can do. She batted her eyes. Could you at least ask for me? She took in a quick breath. Actually, it's for my little brother. He's a big fan of the Flying Mummy. If you could come through for him, I'd be so grateful. Graham felt his mouth moving, but no words exited his lips. It wouldn't hurt to ask. If his father said no, he'd at least get the credit for trying. Oh, okay. Milan swatted him gently across the chin. That's awesome. Let me know what he decides. I'm sure he'll see the merits in letting little Caleb meet his idol. She raced over to the nearest launch platform. Thanks, Graham. He watched her climb the ladder to the highest section. She got in line behind 4 other gargoyles, her blue coloring standing out in the sea of orange clustered around her. She waved to him and smiled. He waved back, doing his best to keep his own smile contained and not at all reflective of how giddy he was truly feeling inside. She knows my name. So, chapter 7 is one of my favorite chapters because it involves the grandfather. I can't wait for you to meet him. So, we'll read that next week. Chapter 7, Warm Heart, Warmer Wisdom.